Hello.
Hello. How you doing today?
Good. It's Friday.
Oh my God. Well, welcome everybody to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Most importantly, tell a friend, have someone else come and join the conversation with us. All right. On the docket today, we have our little guilty pleasure. Married at First Sight Australia, season 6, episode 39. So they're stretching out the last 3 episodes to 1 per week. Bummer.
That's what I kind of figured what was happening.
Well, yeah, because if like, there's no way that you could figure out to put 3 into 2 weeks. So yeah, they're just stretching it out, I guess, until something else
Houston
starts,
starts.
right?
Houston.
Yeah.
That makes sense though.
Yeah. So I've watched all the way through to the end.
The previews look a mess though. I'm gonna say that.
Like shockers, and then like people are being held accountable, and that
As they
there's a
should.
total waste of beverage at one point.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of wasting beverages.
I know.
Unless it's water. If it's water with some ice, cool. I'm good.
No, we've
But
got to save the planet. We can't save water. We can't waste water neither.
I'm just saying. But don't waste the alcohol. If you ain't paying for it.
Oh, well. Anywho, this episode 39 is the last couple that we had to look at, which is Heidi and Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And we go through their time together in the experiment and then their final vows.
That was scary for me. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, like, are you really not gonna propose?
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous for her. I'm not gonna sit here and lie like I wasn't. I was like so nervous for her because I really like this couple and think they have a really really good future. And
Mm-hmm.
he had me like nervous. I was kind of with Heidi on that one. Like,
Mm-hmm.
are you gonna say no?
Well, here's the thing. I think she did the most processing in a positive light in their week away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And she came into the final vows with all walls down, all boundaries open, and willing and ready to accept this man. And her vows were short and sweet and to the point, saying everything that she has done and is willing to do to move forward with this man. And
Mm-hmm.
then he kind of started off good, and then he derailed, and I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then like I was like, don't make her cry. Like, what are you doing? And then he was like, oh yeah, I'm in it with you. I love you. I feel like I would have smacked him. Because by that point,
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear the L word from you. Because if you had loved me, you wouldn't have done that.
But he had to explain. But like, here's the thing. I give him this grace because he's been so good. He's been so like patient with her, and I mean really patient because he always gave her room to be herself, and I always felt she never gave him that room. Like
Mm-hmm.
she would just nitpick and nag and poke, and he never did. He really never did that with her. After that first time, without when he said like, "This is not therapy. I'm not your therapist." Ever since then, he hasn't done anything to her. He hasn't picked at her, poked at her, prodded her, and she's done that to
Mm-hmm.
him consistently. He's never pointed out her faults. Like if you go back, he's never like held her faults against her. He's never brought up once, but she would consistently bring up what she didn't like about him. And if I were in his shoes, I feel the same way. I would really take my time and process as well.
Here's my thing, though. This is Mike we're talking about. Mike is the person who really doesn't listen to what anybody else has to say but himself. Is
But that's
he
because he
really
gets
paying
frustrated.
attention to her faults to point them out? Like, I don't know.
No, he listens. What it is, he listens,
To a point.
but he's very firm in his opinions and he's going to speak his mind.
Mm-hmm.
So he recognizes her flaws and her faults, but he doesn't throw them in her face. Like he doesn't do that, but she's okay to do that to him, which was never fair.
Here's my thing, right? And I'm saying this because I've cheated. In the final episode, let's revisit this because I think how Mike behaves is explained in episode 41.
Does he explain it, or does someone else explain
it? His actions speak volumes.
Hmm.
And it's not nothing to do with them and their time on the couch with the experts. Actually, that had my heart sobbing. But then it's something that happens after that. And we'll put a pin in it.
He just reverts back to typical Mike, basically.
Yeah, and it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. And I say this about myself. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think that's the expression. Like at this point in his life, he is set in his ways. I don't think there's much changing them.
Right. No, I agree.
And then me being set in my ways at this point in my life, I don't know if I'm able to concede to get along with that.
Like it would be a little bit too much at this point in your life.
Yes. Maybe some young girl could think that that's romantic and, oh, he loves me. But an established woman, a woman with some mileage on her in a vintage class.
Well, here's the thing. Why don't you just give us a little spoiler? You can give us a little spoiler. It's fine. I'm here for it.
Okay. They come back to the women and the girls conversation, right? Because the experts bring up the divisiveness between the women and not so much the men. And she was hoping that there would have been more of a community of support and holding the sisters up. What happened? So, of course, Jessica jumps up and says, well, it's like, you've got the women and the girls. And Jules says, she defends her point. And she goes, I've never been around a bunch of people who like scream and carry on at each other. So then defense attorney one, Martha, jumps in and she's like, so when you go out with your friends, you guys don't have drinks and the volume doesn't go up and da, 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 da. And she goes, that's not what I'm saying. And I'm standing firm in what I've said. I've never been around a bunch of women who carry on like this. There are some of you that behave like that, and there are others that don't. And so then you hear Mike say, he there going back and forth, back and forth. He goes, I've got to say something. Okay. Here's what it is. Men just don't think like that. That all boils down to the way and the mentality of women. And women can't do any better. And it's just like, no. And then Mel says, I don't think it has to do anything that's gender specific or gender roles. I just think it's personality driven. Some people, it's in their personality to behave like that. And then others, it isn't. That's all it is. And he goes, well, it just boils down to genders and you just have to deal with it. And she's like, did you hear anything that I said? And he's like,
who's talking to him at this point?
Mike and Mel. Remember Mel that was with Dino, Melissa?
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. Yeah. She goes, did you hear anything that I said just now? And he goes, yeah. And all the women bust out like, oh yeah, he just brushed you off, Mel. Yeah. It's okay, Mel. Yeah. And it's just like, really, Mike? Really? I mean, and he I gotta say something. Well, here it is.
good old Mike. But here's the thing with that, though.
I think he has a character and a mentality from a different generation,
Mhm.
from his dad's generation.
Yes, I agree.
And it doesn't quite fit with a current female generation.
Oh no, not at all.
And then he doesn't like the back talk, so he doesn't listen to it. And
Right.
just repeats what he said, but just a little bit louder. Because
Mhm.
obviously you didn't hear it, girl. And that's when the
Exactly.
mansplaining starts. And I'm sorry to ruin this for you guys, but I was on Mike and Heidi's side. I really was. Through these final vows, when they were on the couch explaining what happened, and it was a deeply emotional view into what was going on in their relationship.
Mhm.
And then he said that, and I was just like, I'm done.
But have you noticed with Mike and Heidi, their situation as a couple? Have you ever
Mhm.
noticed like we're always team Mike or team Heidi, but they just say that one extra thing that turns you off, and it's both of them.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just like they're like the people who talk too much because
Mhm.
you're on their team. You're like, yeah, we got you, we feel
Mhm.
you, keep it going, good job. And then they say that one extra sentence, and like what you just then killed all my support. That next,
Yeah.
if you had just stopped
Yeah.
here, you'd have been cool, but you just had to keep it going.
I know. I
That's what I
know.
know. That's what I know about it. And they both do it.
Yep.
They both do it. Like there have been
Yep.
times where they were going at like Heidi's like saying something like, I'm like, what, Heidi, you go. I got you. I feel you on that.
Mhm.
Mike is kind of wrong in this situation. Good job. And then she says that one that like, what, Heidi, there you went. You just fell off the
Yeah.
reservation. Same thing
Yeah.
with Mike. Mike has excellent points. He does
Mhm.
so well at the beginning. Like, okay, Mike, good job. We with you. We rolling with you. And then he keeps going. Like, what, Mike, you just been shot the barrel,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Um,
basically.
let's just say hi to the folks that joined us today. Hi, Jen. Hi, Trey. Let's see who else is in here. Hey, Nisei. Okay, so I saw some questions. Okay. So Trey thought that this episode bored her. Yeah, because this
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
is kind of boring. But
yeah.
they have a great chemistry. That's the thing. They're boring, but they have a great chemistry. And the thing is, you like it when they're clicking. But when they both get in each other's way of progressing, then it kind of gets boring because they've done it
Oh
the
yeah.
whole season. Um, the reunion starts in episode 40, so next week. Lifetime is stretching this out until they can start something else, and we think it's Houston. When aren't they beefing with each other? Child, it continues all the way to the bloody end. Trey says Sam wasn't even cute anymore at the reunion dinner party. What happened? He cut his hair more on the side so then you could see his ears that stuck out. And he got rid of the beard, which gave him a bit more of a boyish appearance to me.
But
It was something totally different.
he doesn't have a boyish face though. Like if you look at
Mm-hmm.
Sam, like when you look at
Mm-hmm.
Sam, he's like a hard, like chiseled face.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, he does it, but it's hard and chiseled, so he doesn't have that youthful look.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he looks so much better with the hair, because the hair just sat right on his face and it
Mm-hmm.
accentuated the like his bone structure, like
Mm-hmm.
just holds hair so well. It's just like, well, damn,
Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
I could see men aspiring to look like that, but when you cut all the hair off and he's bald, it's like it actually ages him a little bit. You know what it
To
is like
me.
you know how you cut, like when I cut my beard off, which I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
today.
Mm-hmm.
I look unfortunately I look very very young. It is what it is, but
Mm-hmm.
luckily my beard looks good too, thank God. But with Sam, what it is like he just looks so handsome with the beard, because
Mm-hmm.
his bone structure just supports the beard like that well. He could do hair for men commercials and make so much money. I'm serious. When he could be the after with the beard, you know how they show the after with the beard, right?
Uh-huh.
With the coloring, he would be perfect for that because of his bone structure, and it just holds facial hair well. but you shave it away, it aged him. It really aged
Okay.
him.
Hold on. Let's look at him. Let's look at it. Wait, hold. All right. Let's look at him. Because to me, it gave him a boyish appearance, but it also gave him bat ears. Oh wait, hold on. Let's look at a before, and then we'll look at an after. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this picture here was him as we knew him. But
look at his bone structure. Look how the beard just sits on his face. Like,
I agree with you. The beard does everything for him. So does the hair that comes over the ear. I never noticed that he had ears that stuck out a bit. But the beard defines his jawline.
Yep.
And
you.
really makes his face. Yeah, it really gives his chin area a very strong profile. I loved it. And then he showed up looking like this. Wow. And then, okay, here's another picture. Full, like ears.
Hey, Ray Della, it just aged. No hair just aged him out, and then the haircut. That's all.
To me, it made him look younger. It did, because there was no definition. Like the strength that was in his face was gone. And to me, that made it seem weaker and that like younger, like you haven't grown into your face yet. That's how I look at it. But then wait, at least this is better. Where's that other picture? Look what he did after that. He shaved off his head completely.
And now he looks better.
No, he looks worse, because I think he should be doing gay porn.
Can you blow up the picture of the bald head?
I don't know. Wait. Let me just see. I don't know how to do this. Wait. God. Now y'all seeing behind the story hole. Child. Let me see if I can find him.
I'm looking for it now. No worries. Let's see. He looks okay. Compare with the clean shaven look he came to the reunion. He looks better with the bald head and with a little bit of scruff.
That's because he got back the scruff.
I'm comparing the two. I'm comparing his reunion show up look to the bald look, so he looks better.
I don't like the bald look neither. Like I said, gay porn all day.
Sam was just sick of his hair. Let's call a thing a thing. Can you imagine the fortune he was spending on products? Do you know how much money he's saving? Just saying.
Well,
I'm just saying, because I know he spends a fortune on hair products unless he has a sponsor.
Well, he wasn't getting no sponsor with his behavior during this season, and then breaking his contractual obligation. I'm just saying. Let's see. Who else? Yes, look. What else are we saying in here? I'm saying enough. Okay. What do you guys think? Do you like him original Sam, final dinner party Sam, or like the aftermath Sam?
I mean, it's the original, like all the way.
Yeah. The original was the best. Wait, it made him look horrible. Hey, Ray Della, thanks for joining. Hey, Susan. I wonder if he would have risked it all for a clean shaven head. Yeah, Susan. Yeah, we agree. It was boring about Heidi and Mike. It really was.
But did you see the stress of that content though?
Yeah.
They know they could have done that in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I was just saying.
Original Sam is best, hands down. That's so true. What is going on?
Yeah, they were straining for content on this one. I was like, I feel
Yeah.
bad for them. You could just see the stretching in like all the commercials. So like, oh, I feel bad for y'all.
Ooh, Jesus, it really was. But, overall, at least all of the final vows are done now.
Mm-hmm.
And then these last 2 episodes are where we get down to the nitty and the gritty. We have the final dinner party and we have the final couch thing. I won't even call it a commitment ceremony on the couch.
Right.
It's just like a total, I think they call it a reunion, so that the experts can hold these participants accountable for some
Mm-hmm.
of their behavior during the season, and then also to follow up on, because it's 6 weeks after the final vows
Mm-hmm.
when we come back for the dinner party and the final couch session. So they want to know what's been going on with the couples that stayed together during those 6 weeks. And then the ones that didn't, they don't focus on everybody. I think it's just the people who had issues.
Right.
And it is the beginning of the breaking of Dan.
Yeah. Dan did it to himself though.
I think he realized that. I think he did. But he's also stupid, and he somehow plugs along until I think that that clip that I sent you of their meltdown on morning television.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to know if Mark has regrets about not continuing his relationship with Ming. I think he does. I won't spoil it, but I think he does.
He should.
Yeah.
He should thoroughly regret that.
Or at least regret how he ended it like that. That was dead wrong. I don't like how he chose to do that during the final vows. I didn't like that at all.
Me neither. He should have ad-libbed. I'm sorry. I stick by that. He should have just when she said she wanted to stay and she was there, he's supposed to ad-lib.
I just expected more from him. Is that wrong?
No. I think everyone did, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof.
Because he was a good guy. He was like really plugging along. He was caring. He was nurturing, and then to do it that way, especially after she poured her heart out, that was the hurtful part.
Yeah, Susan, it was brutal. Like, and I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't.
Me neither.
I really wasn't. It was a bit cruel, but okay. Agreed, Susan. Yeah. Expected more from Mark. Some of the others, not so much, but from Mark, yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Okay, so yeah, Mike finally tells Heidi that he loves her. So this is the first person he's ever said I love you to. I ruined this for myself because I should have been so happy that he finally said it. And in the moment while watching it, I was very happy.
But
here's
the thing, though. Here's the thing with Mike, though, and I think we have to remember this. We all have our traits. Some good, some not so good. Whether we like it or not, Mike has been consistent the whole way through. So I'm not gonna get mad at someone for being who they are. Heidi has been the same way she is, so I'm not really mad at her for her actions. I just wish she would. Her main issue was that she wouldn't let her guard down. That's fine. What it is now is that they both need to continue with counseling, especially when it comes to communication, because that's their main issue is the way they communicate. So they need to make sure they stay on the track of couples counseling, and I would say at least a good 6 months to really work on that communication, to really get that in. Because when communication is like your only real issue, and it's more so about how you communicate to your person. Like I've had to learn over the years how to communicate with certain people. Certain people I can just be my normal blunt self. Other people not so much because they just can't handle that. It's not that they're bad people; they just can't really handle that tone. It's like, okay, I in this case have to learn to adjust, and it works. It works itself out. It's good. They just need
Well,
to stay on that track.
here's the thing with them though. Like in the experiment, they were at the hotel in Sydney and they were together in this little cocoon or bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of the experiment, they live in two completely different cities. They've got careers. Like after leaving the experiment of forced imprisonment,
Mm-hmm.
um, like that little bubble does burst. And a lot of these couples, I don't think they're equipped from this experiment to try and make it work in the real world.
Not by themselves, no. This is why Heidi and Mike need the couples therapy. I think they need couples therapy the most. And like I said, it goes back to their communication style. You can't live with someone and not communicate effectively. It's
But
not
here's
gonna
the
work.
thing, if they're not even in the same city, then that becomes an even bigger issue. Because then
Right.
all you got is communication.
Right. So that means y'all need to like someone needs to move and you need to get into therapy. Or couples counseling, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
not therapy. I'm a
And
big believer in couples counseling, a huge
yeah,
believer.
now here's the like, if we compare them and where they're at and all the doubts and questions that we have with them, look at Jules and Cam. Before they even left the experiment, he had a key and he was ready to move in. Like he was
Mhm.
cleaning out everything in his house and moving into her house.
Mhm.
And I just like wonder at the level of commitment that Mike and Heidi have put into this relationship as opposed to Cam and Jules. Like,
Well, what it is Cam and Jules are younger, and they're more at that stage of life where it's a now or never situation. Because
but
they want
how much
children,
younger?
because they want children.
Mm,
So it's a different space than Mike and Heidi. Mike and Heidi have that passion, that chemistry, that zest, right?
mm-hmm,
Like I said, where they fall short and where Cam and Jules excel is their communication. They talk through things. They listen and they actively listen, and that's
mm-hmm,
where Heidi and Mike are deficient, which is why
mm-hmm.
Cam and Jules come off so far ahead, is because their communication was pretty much spot on from the beginning. Because they both
Wow.
went in knowing exactly who they were, what they wanted, what they were looking for in someone, versus someone like Mike who's never been in love, who's never like really invested in anyone else but himself because he hasn't had to. And now he's on this journey of like, I actually love this woman. What do I do? So he
Mm-hmm,
needs help in that area as well because he's never had to think about anyone else's feelings but his own. But when you really love someone, you want to make it work. He has to learn to put Heidi first. Sometimes it's not all about him and just his opinion. She actually counts too.
do you think he could hear that though?
Not from her.
Or from
Not from her.
anybody?
From from his parents and from his sister because they love Heidi and he takes their opinions very seriously. And I really, really feel that that was the deciding factor was his family because his family.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell he loves his family, and he looks at them with such reverence. He's like, you all have like successful marriages, so like who better to come to for advice? And they gave him some great advice, but it's up to him to apply it, but it's also up to both of them to recognize their faults and deficiencies and find someone who's a like more a mediator to help them make it work. Because the ingredients are there, they truly are, but they both have to be willing to meet in the middle and not say, "Well, I'm going to meet you this far. I need you to come over here," and that's what they do to each other. If we're being completely honest. I'll give in this much, but I won't give in the full 50%. I'll give in 45%. And each one wants the other to give 55%.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like I said, are they equipped on their own? No, of course not. But are they equipped? Do they have a good foundation to build upon? Yes. That's they have a good foundation. Because for any foundation, you have to have the trust, which they finally gotten there. You have to have the passion. They have that in spades, and you have to have the want to make it work, which they both do. Again, their fault, communication. This is why they're not equipped to do it on their own. Because to me, communication in a relationship is the core foundation of the relationship. So they need that couples therapy, that couples counseling. Without that component, they will not survive. And I hate to say that, but from where I sit, that's just how I see it.
Okay. All right. So Troy says, I actually feel like if they do couples counseling to learn how to communicate effectively with one another, they can make the relationship last.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Even though I have a spoiler on that too, but
You always have spoilers.
I
You cheat.
know. I do cheat because it's fun. Like, why not? This was filmed in this aired, this broadcast in Australia in 2019. So why not?
19, right?
Yeah. But the good thing is that we are watching it the same time as the UK is watching it, season 6.
Oh, that's good.
Because remember that interview that I sent you with Dan? That was
Right.
done 3 weeks ago. They're watching it with us.
Nice. I
So
love it.
he's going through all of the backlash all over again.
Yeah, that's the worst.
But we did get to meet his new girlfriend, Amara, or something like that, and his son. His son is adorable. Okay, so yeah, I think, was there anything else that jumped out at us?
No, because honestly, this recap could have been done in like 10 minutes, but then we start going off on other tangents.
Yeah. Again, it was a nice little filler episode that leaves you with the next 2 episodes, which are both banging. But honestly, how many times have we said filler episode out of 41 episodes?
None, but this was actually a necessary episode to finish out the couples, though, so it had to be that way. And and they literally couldn't put like a 30-minute episode up. It wouldn't have worked. So yeah. I understand why this episode was the way it was. It just wasn't really a lot to it. That's all. Nothing terrible. Nothing terrible.
And actually, I've only think we've said filler episode once before. Once. What are we doing wrong with American television, though?
It's just casting, production, the usual suspects.
Oh, jeez. Okay, guys, let us know your thoughts about this weird and wonky series, Married at First Sight Australia. It's coming to the end. God, I'm going to miss it. But leave your comments below. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love for you to join our little cozy community. Because I'm a little country, I love you. All right. I love the conversations that happen in our live chat. They're so cute. Okay, guys. So at the top of the hour, 3:00 Eastern, 12 noon Pacific, we're going to be doing Mama June, season 5, episode 12, Mama's Verdict. I think this is coming to an end as well, right? Because Love After Lockup starts tonight. Yeah. So join us for a quick little recap of Mama June in about 25 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah?
Of course.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I think we are good.
Good. So until next time?
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.